Welcome to the Sleep Outpost. If you enjoy drifting off to sleep with stories like this, hit subscribe so you never miss a new one. Now, settle in, take a deep breath, and let tonight's journey begin. A sleep story for the Sleep Outpost. There is a path. You may not have noticed it at first. It is the kind of path that reveals itself slowly, the way your eyes adjust to a dimming room, the way the edges of things soften when you stop looking so hard. It winds between the roots of trees so old and wide that their bark has become a world unto itself. A miniature landscape of ridges and hollows where tiny ferns have taken root, where pale green moss grows in thick, velvet cushions that seem to glow faintly in the last light of the day. The air here is different. You noticed it the moment you stepped beneath the canopy, a shift, a softening of the world. The temperature dropped just slightly, just enough to feel like relief, and with it came a heaviness that is not unpleasant. It is the heaviness of humidity, of life pressing in from every side, of 1,000 leaves holding the warmth of the afternoon in their waxy surfaces and releasing it slowly, slowly, like a long exhale. Let your shoulders soften now. Let your breath come naturally, without effort. There is nothing to do but walk this path, and even the walking is easy, even the walking is rest. The path is soft beneath you. The soil here has been layered with decades of fallen leaves, with the slow accumulation of everything that has ever grown and let go, leaves and petals and the papery shells of seeds, all of it pressed down into something that gives gently underfoot, like walking on something that has been waiting to receive you. Your steps are quiet here. You are quiet here. Let your breath come naturally as you walk. Let your arms hang loosely at your sides. Feel the slight give of the forest floor with each step, that patient, cushioned give, and let it remind your whole body that the earth is always here beneath you, always holding, always receiving whatever weight you bring. You don't have to carry yourself through this place. You only have to walk slowly and let the path do what paths are for. To your left, the rainforest opens into something deeper, something wilder. The trees are enormous, strangler figs whose roots cascade down from above like frozen waterfalls of wood, kapocks with their vast buttressed trunks that spread across the ground like the walls of a cathedral. Between them, in every available space, something grows. Giant elephant ear plants catch the last scattered light that filters through the canopy above, their surfaces shining. Clusters of heliconia lean toward the path, their waxy bracts the color of embers, though no fire has ever been so gentle. You do not need to look at all of it. You do not need to take it in, to understand it, to remember it. You only need to be here, moving slowly through the green and the warm and the soft. There is a sound above you now, a low, resonant calling that reverberates through the canopy and down into the thick air of the understory. A bird, perhaps, or a creature that sounds like a bird. Something that makes its voice in the late afternoon as a matter of ritual, as a way of acknowledging the transition between day and night. The call rises and holds and then dissolves into the general texture of the forest sound, and you find, in the moments after it, that the silence is somehow more complete for having heard it. As if the call swept the air clean, left everything a little more still in its wake. Breathe in through your nose, feel the humid air, cool and green-scented, moss and soil, and something sweet you cannot quite name. And breathe out slowly, letting your body become just a little heavier with each breath. Ahead, the path curves gently to the right, following the line of a small stream that you can hear before you see it. A sound like the quietest possible conversation, like water telling itself a story it has told 10,000 times and loves no less for the repetition. You follow the sound. You follow the curve of the path. You are in no hurry. There is nowhere else to be. The light is changing. You have been walking in the hour before dusk, when the sun has dropped below the level of the canopy but has not yet left the sky entirely, when everything is lit from everywhere and nowhere, a sourceless golden suffusion that makes the green appear to glow from within. The leaves above you are backlit into translucence. Each one is a tiny window, a panel of stained glass in 10,000 shades of green. And somewhere ahead, you cannot see it yet, but you can feel it the way you feel a room before you enter it, the way you sense a change in the air. Somewhere ahead is the hollow. You will know it when you see it. For now, let your feet carry you. Let your eyes soften their focus. Let the sounds of the rainforest settle around you like a warm covering, the distant call of a bird you cannot name, the constant low thrum of insects that is not noise but texture, a living silence beneath the silence. You are arriving, slowly, gently. You are already beginning to rest. The path opens. It happens gradually, the trees stepping back just slightly, just enough, to create a space that feels like it was made. Like the forest held a breath and did not release it, keeping a small pocket of air, of sky, of possibility within its vast green interior. You step into this space and feel the difference immediately. A slight widening overhead where the canopy thins, a disk of darkening sky visible through the layered leaves, already deepening from gold to a soft and smoky rose. This is the hollow. It sits at the edge of the deepest part of the rainforest, where the ancient trees give way to a slight depression in the earth. A natural bowl, perhaps carved by water long ago, perhaps simply the result of one enormous tree falling and leaving a space that everything else has spent 100 years learning to hold gently. The floor of the hollow is carpeted in moss so thick and so deeply green that it appears almost to breathe, rising and falling in soft mounds, the surface of it textured like the finest velvet you have ever touched. At the center of the hollow, almost exactly, is a stone. A single large stone, smooth and rounded by time, wrapped in its own covering of moss, with a flat surface just wide enough to sit upon. Beside the stone, the small stream you followed finds its way into the hollow and collects in a shallow pool no larger than a table, perfectly still at its center, trembling only at its edges where the water enters, fringed with the drooping fronds of miniature ferns whose roots disappear into the water without disturbing it. Let your body settle. Let your weight be held by whatever holds you, the ground, the seat, the bed that is your resting place in the waking world. Feel yourself supported. Feel how completely you are held. The hollow is already filling with the particular quality of evening. The light is not fading so much as transforming, becoming softer, warmer, moving from the sharp clarity of afternoon into something more diffuse, more dreamlike. The colors have deepened. The greens are darker now, richer, the kind of green that exists only in rainforests and only in this hour, when the green has absorbed all the light it can hold and now glows with it from within. You find a place to sit. Perhaps it is the mossy stone at the center of the hollow, the surface of it cool and slightly damp through your clothes, the moss against your palms impossibly soft. Perhaps you simply settle into the moss itself, lying back slowly, letting the thick green cushion receive you like a bed that has been waiting, that has been patient, that has expected you for a long time. Above you, through the opening in the canopy, the sky continues its slow transformation. The rose has deepened to violet at its edges. The first stars are becoming visible, not suddenly, not dramatically, but the way truth becomes visible, gradually and then all at once. The sounds of the hollow are quiet, the stream entering the pool, the distant, occasional call of a bird, something melodic and brief, a few notes and then silence, like a question that does not require an answer. The soft percussion of a single large drop of water falling from a leaf far above and landing, eventually, somewhere in the pool or the moss or the ferns, you cannot always tell which. And then the first light. Not a star, lower than that, closer. A single point of cool green-gold light, appearing for just a moment at the edge of the hollow where the moss meets the roots of the oldest tree, and then winking out, and then appearing again, 3 feet to the left, for just a moment, gone. You feel something settle in your chest, something quiet and old and known. The fireflies are beginning. Breathe slowly now. In through your nose, feeling your chest and belly expand together. Out through your mouth, slowly, taking twice as long as the breath in. There is nowhere else to be. There is nothing to do. You are exactly where you are meant to be. The ferns here are enormous. You had noticed them on the way in, the tree ferns especially, rising on slender trunks to heights above your head, their fronds spreading in perfect radial symmetry, each frond itself a smaller version of the whole, each leaflet a smaller version still. It is a kind of infinite patience, this structure, a demonstration of the way nature repeats its most successful ideas at every scale. When you look at a single leaflet, you see the shape of the whole frond. When you look at a single frond, you see the shape of the whole fern. When you look at the whole fern, you see, in miniature, the shape of the canopy above. You are resting now, truly resting. Your body has found its position and your muscles have begun the long, slow process of letting go. First the largest ones, the ones in your back and your thighs, then the smaller ones, the ones in your face and your hands and your feet, loosening like a knot that someone patient has been working at for a while and is now, gently, coming undone. The ferns move. Not because of wind, there is no wind here in the hollow, the trees are too close, the canopy too dense, but because of the slow natural oscillation of large plants, the way they respond to their own weight, to the small vibrations that travel through the earth, to the single large raindrop that falls now from somewhere far above. You hear it before it arrives, a brief percussion on a leaf 20 feet overhead, then silence. Then the leaf directly above you shudders as it catches the drop, bending under the weight of it, and releases a fine mist of smaller droplets that fall upon your face and arms like something cooler than cool, like the gentlest possible reminder that you are a body in a warm and living world. The drop has been falling for a long time. It began as part of the cloud that drifted through the canopy this morning, depositing its moisture on every available surface. It collected on the waxy surface of a leaf 200 feet up and spent the day gathering other droplets until it was heavy enough to fall. And then it fell through this layered world, touching leaf after leaf, losing momentum and then gaining it again, until it reached you here at the bottom of it all, in the soft place, in the hollow. Let your face relax now. The tiny muscles around your eyes, around your mouth, let them soften. Let your jaw fall just slightly open, just enough. Breathe slowly. There is all the time in the world. The moss beneath you has taken on the coolness of the evening. It is the perfect temperature, not cold, just cool enough to be pleasant against your skin, cool enough to make you aware of the warmth of your own body by contrast, the warmth that you carry with you wherever you go. You are warm inside. The world is cool and damp and green around you. Together you are exactly right. The pool at the center of the hollow has received its drops as well, and each one spreads rings across the surface, perfect circles, expanding, slowing, disappearing at the edges. You watch the rings if you can see them from where you are, or you simply know they are there. The geometry of impact and expansion and dissolving, the patient physics of water. There is something profoundly restful about watching water receive a drop and respond to it. The way the energy of impact moves outward in all directions equally, losing itself gradually in the surrounding stillness, until the surface is smooth again, until the disturbance has been absorbed completely and nothing remains of it but the pool's perfect, mirror-dark surface. This is what the mind can do too, given enough quiet, given enough time. A thought arrives, and the mind receives it, and it moves outward, and softens and dissolves, and the quiet returns. Somewhere in the middle distance, a chorus of frogs has begun. Not loud, nothing here is loud, but present, a low, throbbing pulse that emerges from the undergrowth like something the earth itself is humming. It is rhythmic without being mechanical, varied without being random. It is the oldest music. It has been playing longer than memory. Let your breath follow the rhythm if it wishes. In, out, slower than you think you need. Slower still, your body knows how to breathe, you do not need to manage it. Let it happen. The ferns continue their slow and patient movement. A gecko, pale and nearly translucent, has appeared on the underside of a large heliconia leaf nearby. You can see the detail of its tiny feet, the way each toe ends in an impossible adhesive pad that defies gravity, that makes the vertical and the horizontal equally available to this small creature. It watches you with one eye, perfectly still, perfectly at ease, and then it blinks once, slowly, and looks away. The rainforest does not fear you. It has simply incorporated you into its evening, the way it incorporates everything. The fallen leaves, the arriving rains, the small, warm body resting in the hollow. You are part of this now. The stream is speaking. You have heard it since you arrived, that quiet, constant murmur at the edge of your awareness. But now you choose to attend to it, to follow it with your ears the way you might follow a path with your feet. The water enters the hollow from the north, threading its way between two ancient roots that have grown around it like fingers loosely cupped. And it moves slowly, slowly, tracing a route across the mossy floor that it has been tracing for longer than anyone has been here to observe it. It is very shallow, at its deepest point, just below the surface of your wrist, you imagine, just enough to feel the current against your skin if you were to trail your fingers through it. The bottom is visible. Small pebbles worn perfectly smooth by the water's patient work, pebbles in colors that the dim light makes mysterious, something that might be amber, something that might be gray-green, something with a vein of white running through it like a thought. Let your breath slow now, matching the pace of the stream. Not the sound of it, the sound is continuous, but the pace of it, the unhurried deliberateness of water that knows exactly where it is going and is in absolutely no hurry to get there. Breathe in through your nose slowly for a count that feels natural, 4, 5, 6, however many feels right. And then breathe out through your mouth for even longer, 8, 9, 10, releasing more than you took in, emptying your lungs completely before the next breath arrives. This is how the body knows it is truly safe. When the exhale is longer than the inhale, when you are giving yourself permission to release completely. Do this now. Release completely. The hollow will catch whatever you let go of. The stream collects into the pool, and the pool, at its far edge, narrows again into another channel that disappears beneath the roots of a tree so large its base is almost a room. You cannot see where it goes from here. You do not need to. It goes where water always goes, downward, following the path of least resistance, joining with other water, becoming larger, slower, eventually reaching the wide green rivers that move through the heart of the rainforest like the veins of an enormous sleeping creature. You are part of that system too. The water in your body, the largest percentage of what you are, has been in rivers and clouds and raindrops and tree roots and morning dew before it was in you. It will be elsewhere after. For now it rests with you here in the hollow, warm and quiet, doing the slow work of being alive. Your hands are heavy. You may have noticed this, the way your hands have grown heavier over the last few minutes, the way they no longer feel like instruments for doing things, but simply like warm, solid parts of you, resting, receiving. Your feet too, the back of your neck, the small muscles around your eyes. Everything is resting now. Let your jaw relax. Let your tongue rest in the floor of your mouth, completely soft, completely at ease. Let the space between your teeth widen, just a little, just enough that a fine thread of air can move between them. Your face is no longer held by any effort. Your face is no longer held by anything but gravity and rest. The light has continued its evening transformation. The sky above the hollow has moved through violet and into a deep blue that is almost purple, that carries within it the suggestion of night without yet being night. The last of the warm colors have retreated to the very edges of the sky, to the horizon you cannot see from here, but can imagine a thin line of amber and rose at the edge of the world, the sun's final correspondence before it disappears entirely. But the hollow is not dark, not yet, not quite. The bioluminescence of the moss, something you might not have noticed until just now, provides a faint, cool illumination from below. Certain mosses do this in the deep rainforest, glowing with a light that has nothing to do with the sun, a light produced by the chemistry of living things, steady and pale and very quiet. The moss beneath you glows very faintly, just enough to see by, just enough to feel the hollow as a lantern of a particular kind. One that holds its light inside itself and shares it without diminishing. And the fireflies. There are more of them now. Perhaps a dozen visible at any given moment, scattered through the hollow and the low branches of the trees at its edges, blinking in their own rhythms, their own private conversations. You are not meant to decode the conversation. You are not meant to understand. You are only meant to watch, softly, without focus, the way you watch a fire, the way you watch rain on a window, the way you watch anything that moves and changes and requires nothing from you. Scientists tell us that fireflies are using these lights to find each other, to signal across the darkness, to say, I am here, I am alive, I am the kind of firefly you should be with. But in this moment, in this hollow, watching their slow-motion dance among the ferns and the roots, you realize that the purpose doesn't matter. The light is light. The signal is signal. And something in your deepest self responds to it, recognizes it as a kind of language older than words, a kind of conversation that was happening long before humans learned to speak, that will continue long after. You are simply honored to witness it. Breathe in slowly. Feel your ribcage expand, front and back and sides, and breathe out longer than the breath in, releasing everything that does not need to be held. You are looking up. The canopy above the hollow is not a ceiling, it is a world. Layer upon layer of leaves, each layer its own ecosystem, its own inhabitants, its own light and weather. From where you lie, the layers overlap and separate in your vision, some leaves sharp in focus and others dissolving into a general greenness, a living texture that shifts and breathes as the evening air moves through it. Enormous epiphytes have colonized every horizontal surface up there, bromeliads with their rosette shapes, holding pools of water in their centers that are themselves entire ecosystems, tiny worlds within worlds within worlds. Orchids hang from branches in impossible abundance, their roots wrapped around bark, drawing moisture from the air itself. Mosses and lichens and ferns cascade from every fork and hollow up there in the canopy, turning the branches into something shaggy and generous and alive. And through it all, the sky deepens. You can see a patch of it directly above you, that disk of opening in the leaves, and it has completed its journey from blue to deep blue to something that is nearly indigo, the color of the world at the very last moment before it gives itself over entirely to darkness. Within that indigo, stars are appearing now, not one or two, but many, steadily more, as if the sky is remembering them one by one, calling them back into visibility from wherever they go in the daylight. Let your body sink a little deeper. However you are resting on your back, on your side, let gravity have a little more of you. Let the surface beneath you bear more of your weight. You do not need to hold yourself up. You are perfectly held. The sounds of the hollow have settled into a texture you are beginning to know, the way you know the sounds of a familiar room, the particular silence that is not silence, but a layering of soft sounds. The stream, the frogs, the insects, the occasional small sound of water falling somewhere, the rustle of something moving in the undergrowth that is too small to be frightening and too gentle to disturb. A moth has appeared, a large one, its wings the color of bark and shadow, patterned in ways that make it disappear against the surfaces it rests on. It navigates the hollow in slow, looping arcs, pausing on a fern frond, then rising again, drawn by some navigation you cannot perceive toward some destination you cannot see. Its wings make no sound you can hear. It is quieter than the air it moves through. The humidity has settled on every surface. You can see it in the way the moss shines, in the way the leaves at the pool's edge tremble slightly with the weight of water droplets they have collected, In the way your own skin feels moist and warm, the boundary between yourself and the air slightly softened, slightly less defined than it is in the dry and the cold. If you were to reach out right now and touch the moss beside you, your fingers would come away cool and damp, and this would feel like the most natural thing, the most perfect sensory experience. The mist is becoming more substantial now, the light rain settling into every hollow, into every gap between the ferns, into every curve of bark. It is the kind of rain that almost isn't rain, that almost isn't water. It is more like the air itself has become slightly more liquid, slightly more present, slightly more willing to be felt. This is what the rainforest does. It softens boundaries. It makes it harder to say where one thing ends and another begins. The tree and the moss that grows on it, the water and the bank it moves along, the air and the living things that breathe it. You, here, in this hollow, in this evening, you are less separate than you were when you arrived. The boundary between your body and the warm green air around you is becoming a conversation rather than a wall. Let your shoulders soften, breathe slowly. There is nothing to do but listen. There is a particular quality to the air inside a rainforest hollow at dusk that is unlike any other air in the world. It carries the cool breath of the soil, the mineral richness of the deep earth, the sweet decomposition of 1,000 seasons of leaves, and it carries the green breath of every living plant around you, the oxygen they have spent the day manufacturing and releasing, quietly, without recognition, a gift to every breathing thing. You are breathing the work of the trees. You are breathing the work of the moss and the ferns and the giant heliconias. They made this air for you, without knowing you, without needing your thanks, and it is the cleanest, richest, most peaceful air you have ever breathed. The fireflies have increased in number and decreased in urgency. They blink more slowly now, or so it seems, more contemplative, more at ease. Their light is cool and steady and intermittent, like small thoughts, appearing, pausing, disappearing, reappearing somewhere else. You do not need to follow any single one. You can let your gaze rest in the middle distance, soft and unfocused, and simply be aware of the lights as a whole, a slow constellation at ground level, a galaxy reflected in the hollow. Your breath has slowed without you asking it to. Your body has begun its own descent. You are here, you are warm, you are held. The hollow has grown quieter. Not because the sounds have stopped, the stream still speaks, the frogs still pulse in their ancient rhythms, the insects still maintain their low and constant thrum, but because you have grown quieter inside and the outside has matched you. Or perhaps you have matched it. It does not matter which. You are in correspondence with this place now, tuned to the same frequency as the moss and the water and the slowly blinking lights. The sky above is fully dark now, or very nearly. The disk of sky visible through the canopy has moved beyond indigo into a true and velvety black, and within that black the stars are numerous and uncompromising in their clarity. You are in the deep rainforest, far from any city, and the stars here are the stars as they have always been. Thick and close and countless, the Milky Way a genuine presence, a river of soft light crossing the narrow window of sky above you. You do not need to look at them directly. You can simply know they are there, above the canopy, above the layered leaves, above the world, doing what stars do. Burning steadily and very far away and casting a light so diffuse and gentle by the time it reaches you that it feels less like light than like the memory of light, the idea of it. Let your eyes close if they want to. Let them stay open if they want to. Either way, what you see and what you feel are becoming the same thing, the hollow, the warmth, the green, the soft. Breathe in, gently, through your nose. Feel the humid rainforest air, cool and green and faintly sweet, and breathe out slowly, through your lips, letting your belly soften completely with the exhalation. The moss beneath you, or wherever you rest, is perfectly soft. This softness is not something you have to reach for or imagine. It is simply there, present, patient, offering itself. You accept it. You let it hold you. You let yourself be held. A sound from somewhere in the canopy. A soft hooting, 3 notes in a slow descending pattern, repeated once and then silence. An owl, perhaps, or something owl-adjacent, something that has its life up there in the layered dark above you, in the world of branches and epiphytes and accumulated water. It calls again, 3 soft notes, and then does not call again, and the silence that follows is, if anything, quieter than the silence before. The fireflies continue their slow language. One appears very close to you now, 3 feet away, perhaps, hovering among the fronds of a small fern at the edge of your vision. It blinks once, slowly. It holds the light for just a moment longer than the others seem to, as if considering something, and then it releases it, and the darkness returns, and then it appears again, a few inches higher, blinking its cool green-gold light into the evening. You watch it the way you watch a candle, without wanting anything from it, without expecting it to perform. Simply watching. Simply being here, in the same world as this small creature and its small light, in the same hollow, in the same dusk that has become night. Let your hands open if they are closed. Let your fingers relax. Let the muscles in your forearms and your upper arms grow soft and heavy. Let your breathing find its own pace, slower than you think you need, deeper than you think you can manage, easier than you believe. Your body knows how to breathe. Your body has always known. Trust it. The stream continues its quiet conversation with the stones at the bottom of the pool, the same story it has told 1,000 evenings, patient and contented and entirely without urgency. It tells the story of water, how it falls from clouds and gathers in soil, and travels through roots and rises through trunks and evaporates from leaves and rises to become clouds again. It tells this story without words, only with the sound of itself moving, and the story is complete. The story is enough. You are part of the story too. You are always in the middle of some version of it, water moving through you, air moving through you, the slow chemistry of living happening in you in every moment, without your attention or your effort. Let it happen, let it all happen. You are resting, you are here, the hollow holds you. The darkness of a rainforest at night is not the darkness of a room with the lights turned off. It is not an absence. It is a presence, a warm, breathing, alive presence that presses close and smells of soil and moss, and the green exhalations of 10,000 plants conducting their slow nocturnal chemistry. Your eyes, which have been softening throughout the evening, have adjusted as much as they will adjust. What you see now is a world of gentle gradations, the deeper darkness of the tree trunks, the slightly less dark masses of the fern fronds, the faint glow of the mossy floor, the intermittent and beloved lights of the fireflies that have become, in the last minutes, the primary light source of the hollow. They are everywhere now. 20, 30, perhaps more. It is difficult to count them when they blink in and out of existence, when they move between blinks to new positions, when the ones at the edge of your vision blend into the ones nearer to you. The hollow has become a slow galaxy, a living constellation at floor level, green-gold lights drifting and blinking and drifting again in patterns that mean something to the fireflies and are beautiful to you. Breathe in, hold it gently for just a moment, and breathe out slowly, completely, letting the last of the breath go. The temperature has settled. Not cold, never cold in the rainforest, even at night, even in this hollow at the edge of the world, but cool enough to be perfect, cool enough that the warmth of your body is something you are grateful for, something you are aware of. You are a small, warm thing in a cool green world, and this is a good thing, a right thing, a thing that has been true of every warm-blooded creature that has ever rested in a rainforest at night. The frogs are still singing. You have stopped hearing them as individual voices and started hearing them as a texture, a living background that your mind has incorporated into its resting state. They are the sound of the night itself. They are the rhythm of the hollow's breath. Something is moving very slowly in the undergrowth at the far edge of the hollow. You can just perceive it, a gentle displacement of leaves, a barely there shifting of shadow. Something small, you think, something that moves with great care and great patience, something that belongs here as completely as the ferns and the moss and the water. You do not need to know what it is. You do not need to see it. You simply know that it is there, doing whatever it does, being whatever it is, in perfect accord with everything around it. This is what wildness feels like when you are inside it and relaxed and part of it. Not threatening, not alien, simply alive in ways that are different from your aliveness, and therefore interesting, and therefore beautiful. Let your body soften further. There is more to let go of than you think. There is always more. Let your feet relax, one at a time, starting with the toes and moving through the arch and the heel and the ankle. Let your calves release. Let your knees and thighs grow heavy and warm. Let your belly be soft. Let your chest rise and fall with your breath, slowly, steadily, without effort. Let your shoulders drop, lower than you think they should be, lower than comfortable, lower than that. The hollow is holding you. The earth is holding the hollow. The rainforest is holding the earth. You are inside something ancient and patient and entirely without judgment. Rest here. The pool is very still. At its surface, the faint light of the fireflies reflects tiny smears of gold green in the dark water, appearing and disappearing in correspondence with the lights that make them. If you watch the pool instead of the hollow, you see the same constellation in reverse, the lights above and their echoes below, a doubling of the magic. The stream enters the pool so quietly now that you might almost believe it had stopped, that the water had simply decided to pause here for the night and resume in the morning. But if you listen, really listen, with the kind of listening that requires your mind to be still, you can hear it. The softest possible sound of moving water, the sound of a single leaf in a very slow current. You have been listening for a while now. Listening without trying to hear anything in particular, without waiting for anything to happen. This is one of the rarest kinds of attention, the kind that requires no effort, that simply stays open, that lets whatever is there come and go without grasping. Let your breath be like that. Let it come and go without your involvement. In and out. The body breathing itself, doing what it knows to do, what it has always known, what required no learning. The stars through the opening in the canopy are extraordinary. You have not looked directly at them in a while, but you are aware of them, the way you are aware of something behind you, a sense of presence that does not require visual confirmation. They are doing what they do, far away and steady and beyond any scale your body can intuitively comprehend. Their light left them years ago, decades, centuries, and traveled through the dark between worlds and entered this atmosphere and scattered through the canopy and arrived here in this hollow, at this moment, to touch your face so softly you cannot feel it, but only know it is there. Ancient light, patient light. The fireflies have settled into a rhythm that feels, if you are not too alert to notice it, like breathing. A slow pulse of appearance and disappearance, light and dark, presence and absence, that rises and falls across the hollow like the breathing of the hollow itself. In the light, and in the dark between, and in the light again. You are breathing with it. You may not have noticed, but you are. Your body has synchronized with the slow pulse of the fireflies and the frogs and the stream and the moss and the night warm air, has found the rhythm of this place and joined it without being asked. There is a word for this in some traditions, entrainment. The way rhythms synchronize when they are close enough to each other, when one is strong and steady and the other is open to influence. The rainforest is very old and very steady. You are here and you are open. Let the pulse carry you. Breathe in with the light. Breathe out with the dark between, in and out, slow and slower, gentle and quieter. The frogs do not know you are here. The moth does not know you are here. The gecko on the underside of the heliconia leaf has long since moved on to wherever geckos go at the height of the night. The small thing that moved in the undergrowth has moved on as well. The fireflies know nothing of you and care for nothing of you and light their small, cool lights in complete indifference to your presence, your history, your plans. You are simply another warm thing in the warm green dark. You are no more and no less than what you are. A body resting, a mind slowing, a presence becoming softer and quieter and more diffuse with every breath. This is rest. This is real rest. This is the kind of rest that the body knows and needs and moves toward when it is given permission. You have given permission. Let go. The fireflies are fewer now. Not gone, still here, still blinking their patient lights, but fewer and slower and more widely spaced, as if the night has grown so deep and so still that even they have found their way toward rest. The ones that remain blink with a quality that feels different from the ones that lit the early dusk. They are slower, more deliberate, more like thoughts at the edge of sleep than like communication, than like anything that requires a response. You have been here a long time, or perhaps it has been no time at all. In this place, in this state, time has become something other than what it usually is. It has become less a sequence and more a texture, less a line and more a surface, something you are resting on rather than moving through. The stream is the quietest it has been. Or perhaps you are the quietest you have been, and the stream only seems to match you. Either way, the sound of it has become so familiar that it is no longer a sound, but a given like the sound of your own heartbeat, which you stopped hearing long ago because it became too much a part of you to be perceived as separate. Breathe in gently and breathe out, slowly, letting your belly soften with the exhalation, letting your chest settle, letting your body sink just a little more into whatever holds you. The moss, you can still feel it, or you remember feeling it, the cool velvet of it is patient. It has no urgency. It has been here for a very long time, and it will be here for a very long time after, growing and breathing and photosynthesizing, and providing its small, soft surface to whatever rests upon it. Tonight it provides it to you. This is enough. This is sufficient. This is, in the moss's own silent way, a kind of gift. The canopy above is perfectly dark now. The leaves have disappeared into the darkness, and only the disk of sky remains visible, and even the stars in that disk have blurred slightly. Whether because clouds have drifted across them, or because your vision has softened to the point where it no longer seeks definition, you cannot say. There is a moth on the surface of the pool. You can barely see it, a faint shape on the water that is perhaps a moth, and perhaps a leaf, and perhaps only the way the water's surface catches the last of the firefly light. It rests there with the absolute stillness of something that has surrendered to the surface, that has let the water receive it. You are like that. You have let the hollow receive you. You have let this night, this warm, green, damp, and quiet night, hold you as the water holds the moth on its surface, completely, and without effort, and without any requirement that you do anything at all. Your hands are heavy. Your feet are heavy. The weight of your body is entirely given over to what holds it. Your thoughts, if there are thoughts, are slow and far apart and not quite fully formed, more like the shapes of thoughts, the outlines of thoughts, thoughts that drift past without needing to be examined or followed or acted upon. Let them drift, let them go. Let them be like the firefly light appearing for a moment and then released. There is a sound, very soft, very distant, that might be rain beginning somewhere beyond the hollow, somewhere in the deeper forest where the trees are so tall and so dense that rain takes minutes to arrive at the ground, filtered and slowed and broken into mist by the 1,000 surfaces it touches on the way down. You can hear it approaching, the softest possible percussion moving through the leaves, coming closer, very slowly, very gently. Let your breath match it, slow as falling water, patient as the moss. You are here, you are safe, you are resting. The rain has arrived. It is not rain as you experience it in the open, not drops but mist, a fine and gentle presence that enters the hollow as a softening of the air rather than a wetting of the surfaces. It touches your face with the lightest of touches, cool and clean, smelling of the cloud it came from, of the altitude it descended from, of the long journey through the canopy that made it into this. Something finer than rain, something closer to breath. The hollow receives it, the moss receives it, the pool barely shivers. And you receive it too, the coolness on your face, the freshness of it, the way it makes the green smell even more green, the way it softens the night even further, the way it is the final thing, the last piece, the arrival of everything that needed to arrive. You are completely here now. Not thinking of before, not thinking of after. Only here in the hollow, in the warm green dark, in the mist, in the slow company of fireflies growing fewer and more distant, in the sound of water that has become the sound of everything. Let your eyes close all the way now. Let them close. Let them rest behind your closed lids, the muscles around them completely soft, completely at ease. Let your breath come without your assistance. It knows the way, it has always known. In and out, in and out. Slower. The frogs have grown quieter too, not silent, never silent in the rainforest, but quieter, slower in their rhythm, as if the deep of the night has reached even them and drawn them toward stillness. Their voices have become something less than sound and more than silence. A presence, a hum, a vibration at the lower edges of perception. The fireflies, the last few, the most patient, the ones who are still here, blink so slowly now that you lose the pattern between blinks, that each light seems to appear out of nothing and return to nothing without any relationship to what came before or after. They are simply light. They are simply here. They are simply beautiful in the way that things are beautiful when you are no longer trying to see them. Your body is very heavy. Every part of it is heavy, your arms heavy, your legs heavy, your head heavy and sinking, heavy and warm, heavy and still. The heaviness is not uncomfortable. The heaviness is what rest feels like when rest is complete, when the body has given up its vigilance and surrendered to the surface that holds it. You are held. The stream is speaking. It is always speaking. It spoke before you arrived and it will speak after, telling its old story to the stones and the moss and the roots and the dark, patient water, telling it without needing an audience, telling it because it is what water does. You are listening. Or perhaps you are no longer listening. Perhaps you have crossed the threshold past, which listening is the word for what you are doing, and what you are doing is something closer to receiving, closer to dissolving into the sound, becoming part of the story the stream is telling. Breathe in just once more, just one slow, deep breath, feeling your chest and your belly fill, and breathe out, feeling everything release, feeling yourself become lighter even as your body grows heavier. The hollow is yours tonight. The moss, the pool, the stone, the ferns, the fireflies, the frogs, the mist, all of it is here with you, all of it is holding you, all of it is asking nothing from you but your presence, and you have given that freely, completely, without reservation. The last firefly blinks somewhere at the edge of the hollow. So far away it might be a star, so dim it might be a thought, so brief it might be a dream beginning. And then the dark. And the stream. And the soft percussion of mist on 10,000 leaves. And the breath yours and the hollow's, and the world's in and out, slow and deep and warm. You do not need to hold on to anything now. Not the story, not the hollow, not the fireflies or the ferns or the cool green air. Everything you need is here with you, in whatever place you truly rest tonight, in the warm and quiet dark. The rainforest breathes. The moss glows softly. Somewhere in the canopy, very far above, a single drop of water makes its long, slow journey from leaf to leaf to leaf. And you are already asleep. Sleep well, the hollow will be here when you wake.